Yeah. From the notes that I've prepared, this is all just for
Oh
3TC.
my God.
This is
Yeah,
just
this
for
was during
3TC.
3TC, right? Yeah, both of us
Yeah.
were on air. I mean, Adi
Yeah.
obviously helping us from behind the scenes. That was a brilliant effort. Huh?
It
Everyone
was.
remotely located.
Yeah.
Uh, there were like people from all over the country broadcasting a live cricket from South Africa. Was phenomenal. I thought that was absolutely a top topic.
Correct. It's something. It's actually something unforeseen, unheard of, and it's probably never been done before. So, it's
Yeah, that'll be interesting to know whether it's been done before or not.
it's never been done before. I know a lot of people who've been producing a lot of horse racing in Australia during this time itself, but they still had their camera crew over in the racetracks and all that. So it was never it was never done so remotely before. So yeah, hats off to Star Sports for pulling it off.
So anyways, I think obviously as an experience, it was a brilliant experience. New format, but a little complicated. It will catch up or not depends on whether this format is played on a repeated basis or not, because there are some very basic differences in this format as compared to the other three formats that we have, rather more than three, let's say four odd formats. Because number of players, obviously overs and all are still adjustable, whether you get 20, 50 or 5 days, those aren't something that you need to worry too much about or think too much about. But the whole thing of 12 overs being divided into 2 halves and things like that, it sounds complicated. I'm sure for anyone who watched it for the first time, like us as well, I think the more we kind of play this format or watch this format, I think easier it will get is what I think, Adi.
I think one thing that got missed was, yes, they did publish the rules before. Even Mark Nicholas also did a small video, but I think that didn't reach enough people. Probably it didn't clear our doubts as well. I remember talking to Sanjay this morning. I asked him a couple of questions. He asked me a couple of questions which I didn't have an answer for, and vice versa. It's like there were still a lot of things. I wouldn't call them ambiguous or something, but slightly not too clear.
Different, slightly different. But it was good to see A.B. de Villiers get some runs. I mean, it was brilliant to see him bat, and I don't know. I'm sure there will be highlights being shown again. But if you can watch him, it's like vintage ABD. The way he got 61 of 24.
61 of 24 balls. Yeah,
and that was like good old A.B. de Villiers. And you know what? I mean, and what I honestly think is we might see him back in action soon, not just franchise cricket. I think even as far as playing for South Africa is concerned.
If I'm not wrong, his plan was to come back for the World T20 this year, but sadly it's got scrapped. But Deep,
quickly, I honestly think he'll be back, and as you mentioned, because obviously change in the setup in South Africa cricket, as in Cricket South Africa. I mean, he issued the reason that he retired wasn't for on field or that he wanted to prolong his white ball career. It's more to do with issues with
off-field issues,
and all that. And now that Graham Smith is there as the director and of cricket in Cricket South Africa, Mark Boucher is back. So a lot of people who he's played cricket with are now part of the admin group or the setup there. So I think that would be a good enough reason for him to get back into South African colours.
Sure. Deep, so let's get started with our 3TC analysis. So I remember when in the same show, when we first started, when this 3TC was announced, we questioned why another format. We even thought like, why are you trying to complicate the game of cricket? But but having seen it once, I think it could be a very, very tactically interesting format. What do you think?
Yeah, listen, the more rules you have, the more tactical it gets. You're finding a way around or trying to find a way to maximize the whatever you've got. So I think the more rules you have, the more tactical it will get, and it will get more tactical because you still kind of deviate from a lot of the mainstream rules of cricket. So obviously those rules are new. So you're also trying to find out, how those rules can affect you, how far you can push the boundaries as far as these rules are concerned. So I think, yeah, I mean, it will definitely get more tactical. It is more tactical. There's no two ways about it.
Yeah, and in terms of batting tactics, what I observed was I think teams were outright defensive in the first half. If you look at, for example, if you look at the 2-over scores of the first 2-over scores in the first half, it was 14, 16, and 17. That's less than what you see in a T20.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. But also, I mean, this is the first time that people were playing. I think there are lots of reasons behind that. One is that, secondly, you don't know how go about and play this format. Remember when T20 came in, 140 was a fast score, but now you're talking about 180. So I think things will change as people play more of this format. They get used to this format and understand this format more and more. So I think from that perspective, things will change. And also, I mean, everyone's rusty. I mean, all of them, irrespective of whatever it is, playing cricket after 4 months. I mean, I'm sure they haven't really practiced a lot.
Practice
Must
quite
be
a bit,
couple of days, maybe 3-4 days in the nets and all that. So, yeah, I mean, all those things do change, I reckon.
Yeah. So even the first half scores, they were 56, 66, and 58. That's a very, very normal occurrence in a T20. A T20 power play score, if you look at it, a very good batting unit, say someone opening with a Lynn and McCullum, if they're on fire, they'll score 70. That one. But Deep, it's only one match old, but I noticed two different batting tactics. One is, for example, if you look at the Eagles, they were a top-heavy team. As in, they had top-quality batsmen, but they chose to send their top three up front. They opened with Van der Dusen and Markram, and one drop was De Villiers. Whereas if you look at the other teams, I think Kingfishers held back Du Plessis for a bit, and Kites actually sent Miller in only in the second half.
Yeah.
I mean, I think, so you could clearly differentiate two things. Like one is a top-heavy approach, like the Sri Lanka of 2012 in T20s, and the other is the conservative approach.
True, I agree. I agree. Like I said, everyone's learning about this format. So you will see more changes in strategies. The more you play this format, more people will start thinking about it. See, the other important thing is this is a one-off thing. You really don't know whether we get to see more of this format or not. So maybe people are not really thinking a lot about how, like I said, how far you can extend those boundaries. The more you start playing this format and listen, I mean, first of all, it was great to see cricket and get people back on the field. How I see it is now you have England, West Indies, Pakistan, and South Africa on the field.
And Australia have named a squad as well. We are for a potential tour of England late next month.
Right. So there you go. So I think those are the takeaways, positives. As far as this format is concerned, listen, I think it's a little premature to comment on it. But one thing, both of us will agree that we had a lot of fun doing something which has never been done before, as you mentioned. Possibly never been done before. And also being part of this live coverage, I mean, felt so different but so good.
I mean, the communication was just so hard. Like, we are so used to having, like, for example, in my case, I'm so used to having the producer right next to me. Like, I always used to keep scratching his shoulder, or for that matter, you on the left, or any of the comment. Like, I remember, like, tap. I always used to tap on your shoulder, tap, like, and then keep telling you something. So it was very weird. First of all, talking to the commentators was very difficult because half the time I couldn't figure out whether you heard me or not. So.
Yeah, most of the time we did. I mean, I did because for some reason I couldn't get on to my laptop. I used my iPad, so I couldn't use the lazy. So it was kind of difficult. There are things which I wanted to ask, but I couldn't. So I was more like, I knew that Mahesh, our director, could see me. So I would go like, can I talk now? So it was good. It was good. It was a great new experience.
Yeah. Just couple of more bowling points that I want to touch upon 3TC. Again, it's not it's just observations on how it could be done. Two teams opened with part-timers. Reza Hendricks, Aiden Markram. And even the other team, John John Smuts, bowl the second over. So, I mean, this is again something which you don't see in.
Yeah, Adi, but this is a continuation of what you see in T20 as well. You see T20,
Yeah.
the first or the second over and the seventh over, you generally hand it over to your, I won't say part-time, but maybe not somebody that you're expecting 4 overs out of.
Or someone whom you've not seen often, like
Yeah,
Reza
so-
Hendricks. I don't remember seeing Reza Hendricks bowl at all.
True. So those are, I think those are the stuff which are like you take straight away from T20 cricket and use it here, because you know for a fact that the first over or two, irrespective whether it's 20 overs, 50 overs, or 12 overs, batsman will take some time. He won't go after it. I mean, as of now, won't. So that's what. So I think
Yeah.
those things are a straight adaptation from T20.
Yeah, and the other obvious thing was, if you look at all the strike bowlers, Ngidi, Noke, Buren Hendricks, Junior Dala, Glenn Sturman, all bowled only 1 over in the first half, and then which is
so-
not quite surprising.
It's not surprising. I mean, the first 6 overs, you'll have your main bowlers bowling 1, so you have for the second spell of 6 overs, you'll have at least 2 overs from your top guys. But you know what was interesting to see? The talent, the bowling talent in South Africa. I mean, Nitini's son, Honda Nitini, Simpala, Kate, then Stuman,
Gerald Coetzee looked very, very good.
yeah, Gerald Coetzee, he was quick.
Sturman,
Yeah, so you've got these 3-4 young 19, 20, 23-year-olds who are coming through. Obviously, you have the existing lot. And mind you, the existing lot is also young. I mean, Hendrik Nokia, Rabada, Lungi, they're also in their like mid-20s or something. And then you have this new lot coming through. So, yeah, it was kind of was good to see that. All right.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Good Saturday.
All right. It was nice chatting to you. It was a lovely, lovely day. I hope you enjoyed it, Adi.
Lovely.
The whole remote broadcast and all.
Remote broadcast. Remote to the power remote.
Remote broadcast.
It's really remote.
Yeah. All right, Adi, you take care. We'll catch up soon again. And all of you, thank you for watching and hanging around. See you later.
Anyways,
Bye, guys.
stay safe.
Bye,
Yeah.
Adi.
Bye.